Leonor and Sofia, the sister bond Spain loves. Everyone thinks they know Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia. Two sisters, perfectly poised at every public appearance, smiles polished, gestures synchronized, the picture of royal perfection. But what if I told you the story Spain adores is far deeper, far more human, and far more surprising than anyone imagined? Behind the grandeur, behind the palace walls, lies a bond that has shaped the monarchy's future, and the private lives of these sisters, more than any crown or ceremony ever could. From childhood, Leonor and Sofia were taught to navigate a world that watches every move, every smile, every word. Cameras followed their first steps, the public analyzed their first greetings, and the nation expected them to embody tradition flawlessly. Yet what most people don't see is how this pressure forged a sisterhood stronger than the weight of any crown. Their bond was not born from privilege, it was born from shared vulnerability, whispered secrets, and the quiet reassurance only a sister can give. Imagine growing up knowing one of you will be queen, while the other lives in her shadow. Many assume jealousy or rivalry would dominate. But for Leonor and Sofia, it was the opposite. Sofia became her sister's anchor, the confidant who reminded Leonor that the crown is heavy, but it does not define her. Leonor, in turn, nurtured Sofia's independence, encouraging her to chase her own passions beyond the gaze of the public eye. What looks like royal protocol on the outside is, in truth, a carefully choreographed dance of care, loyalty, and love. And the first curiosity loop begins here. How do they maintain closeness when their lives are suddenly on separate continents? Leonor at her military academy, Sofia at school abroad. The distance could have frayed any sibling bond, but instead, it strengthened it. Messages, late-night calls, shared laughter over silly texts, mutual support before exams, performances, or royal appearances, the sisters created their own private world, one invisible to the outside eye, yet deeply influential on their growth. As adolescence approached, their responsibilities intensified. Leonor faced rigorous training, royal duties, and public scrutiny that would test the resolve of anyone. And yet, whenever doubt crept in, it was Sofia's words, encouragements, and subtle gestures that grounded her. On the mornings before critical public appearances, Leonor would find a message from Sofia, simple phrases like, "You've got this," or, "You're more than what they see," small tokens of support that carried enormous emotional weight. The public only saw perfection, the private world was woven with sisterly love that became the backbone of resilience. Now consider the tension that naturally arises in sibling relationships. Despite their closeness, there were moments of frustration, moments when expectations collided. Times when Leonor's workload made Sofia feel sidelined, or when Sofia's independent achievements inspired a quiet envy. But unlike most families, they never let these moments linger in silence. Instead, they talked, confronted the discomfort, and transformed tension into understanding. That ability to communicate, to navigate emotional complexity, is what makes their bond so compelling, and so human. Another curiosity loop opens when we consider Spain's gaze on them. What happens when Leonor steps further into the role of queen? Does the bond change under the weight of history, responsibility, and national expectation? Observers might think so, but insiders reveal that Sofia remains the emotional center, a constant through which Leonor channels her humanity. Their relationship evolves rather than diminishes, reflecting the reality that true bonds are not static, they grow, adapt, and provide strength precisely when it is most needed. Private family moments reveal the depth of this connection. Simple dinners, shared walks in the palace gardens, whispered conversations about fears, ambitions, or disappointments, these are the spaces where royal life feels most real. On one particularly emotional evening, after months of intense public scrutiny and training, Leonor confided her anxieties about the future. Sofia responded not with advice, but with presence, a long embrace, a quiet, grounding statement, "We face this together." That, more than any public ceremony, shapes Leonor's confidence and sense of purpose. Their story also reflects Spain's evolving view of the monarchy. In a world where royal life can seem distant or performative, Leonor and Sofia embody authenticity. The public witnesses gestures of genuine care, glances that communicate understanding, subtle handholds during formal events, and moments of shared laughter that break protocol. Spain sees, and loves, sisters who navigate history, duty, and youth with integrity, humor, and warmth. And yet, their journey is far from over. The next curiosity loop. As Leonor nears the throne, how will Sofia redefine her own role? Will she remain a behind-the-scenes anchor, or step forward to carve her path? Current insiders suggest a balance akin to the most iconic royal partnerships in Europe, supportive yet independent, intertwined yet individual. Their bond becomes a template for how the next generation of royals can thrive, not by overshadowing each other, but by lifting each other. Through it all, their sisterhood is not about rivalry or